This is the Redmi Watch 5 and I've been using it for a while now. It comes with 5 system GNSS for accurate location tracking, up to 1500 nits 60Hz smooth AMOLED display, so it's visible even during the brightest hour of the day, 150 plus sport modes, premium aluminum alloy build, and even a linear motor for that flagship haptic experience. While it may sound like it's the best budget smartwatch you can get in the market right now, it's also the weirdest tech product that I've ever reviewed. Trust me, this is going to be interesting. The box comes in weighty, but it's a pretty general unboxing experience. Of course, you are greeted by the watch itself. I love how the color matches my Buds 6 Pro. Followed by a separate area containing the cable for charging, the same you get in the Watch 5 Lite, and finally a thick user manual. But we are not done yet. There are 2 extra straps that Xiaomi has sent, starting with the berry red magnetic strap, followed by the Milanese magnetic strap, fully made out of metal. Both of them are of high quality. Okay, back to the watch. The first thing that you got to notice is the design. And I think it's a stunner, but also the eerie similarity to Apple Watch. And Xiaomi doesn't even try to hide it. On their website, apparently this watch has a retina display. I wonder who else uses that name. But anyway, starting with the uniform thin bezels, rounding into the aluminum alloy frame. Unlike the completely flat display of the Redmi Watch 4. Plus points for the matte finish at the sides instead of the high gloss that you find in the Redmi Watch 5 Lite, which I reviewed a few months back, and the functional crown, which is now even more compact and integrated with the main body. The backside has the speaker, noise cancelling microphones, and the different sensors, which are now more accurate than the Redmi Watch 4. More on that later. The straps are pretty comfortable to wear, but if you don't like them, you can actually change them easily with the quick release mechanism over here. And I think it's much better than the one on my OnePlus Watch 2R, because you do have to fiddle a bit in order to open these straps, and also in the Redmi Watch 5 Lite. But here they are just replaceable with the press of a button. Like if you press this and just pull the strap, you can just remove it easily and replace it with something like the berry red strap that I've got from Xiaomi, or the Milanese strap. The secondary advantage that I found with the extra straps that Xiaomi sent is this mechanism, which basically acts as a mount. So it allows you to remove those straps and attach straps like these that comes with the Redmi Watch 5 Lite, basically unlocking an even larger library of third-party straps available online. Okay, next is the display. I'll be honest here, this is a big watch that comes with a large display of a size even more than 2 inch, but at the same time it has the same dimensions of the Watch 4, except for being a little bit thicker than the Watch 4. But honestly, as someone coming from the Watch 2R, which is so thick, this thing feels a lot slimmer, comfortable and lightweight. Xiaomi just crammed in as much as display possible within the body, leaving behind these uniform thin bezels. It's also a smooth display with 60Hz refresh rate, although there's an issue, but more on that later. Also, it's not just a smooth display, but at the same time a bright display. And by bright, I mean really bright. It comes with adaptive brightness, which I really missed in the Watch 5 Lite. I think it's a bit slow, but yeah, it's reliable, and I'm also glad that it is there. You also get the other features related to the screen, starting with the always-on display and also the watch faces and all that are there, many of which you can change from the app itself. More on that later. And also raise to wake, covered to turn off the screen, all these features are there. And you can easily toggle them from the quick settings page, which is again easily accessible with just a single swipe. And not just that, you can also access additional settings regarding those by long pressing on each of the icons in the quick settings page. Like here, I can schedule the raise to wake option for a certain period of the day. And also there's this another option which keeps the screen on for 5 minutes. Okay, now let's talk about the most important part. That is obviously the health tracking features. Now starting with the heart rate, Xiaomi actually claims that they have improved their heart rate algorithm, so it is now 5.2% more accurate than the previous generation. I did a bit of cycling while wearing this watch outside in form of a workout. I will talk about some interesting findings about the heart rate monitoring in the workout section. While you can't really expect any kind of medical level accuracy, obviously, but I think the heart rate measurement is pretty reliable. It also supports continuous heart rate monitoring 24/7, and even you can set alerts for high heart rate or low heart rate. All of these features are actually turned off by default, so you have to to turn them on in order to use them. Next is stress monitoring. Now for me, I find the results to be always in the mild range, but it is surprisingly slow. I can completely understand that the Watch 5 Lite is a very cheap smartwatch, so it is okay to be slow, but this smartwatch also has the same speed as the Watch 5 Lite. I mean, Xiaomi should have made it faster. And it's not just that, it is also very sensitive, so you can't really move your hand even a bit while the stress recording is going on. Because of this problem, it can't really record properly the continuous stress monitoring. And to get this pattern of different values over the time period instead of the smooth graph that you get on the OnePlus Watch 2R. I don't know if this would be some kind of relevant information for you, but yeah, it is worth mentioning. Also, you get obviously oxygen monitoring, that is also there, and of course you can turn on 24/7 continuous oxygen level monitoring, and yes, set alerts for low oxygen level. The alert threshold can also be customized according to your requirement. And I forgot mentioning, the same thing can be done with the stress levels. The watch can automatically alert you when you are very stressed out, and of course all of these features you have to turn on manually. And no options for ECG or blood pressure, although there's a blood pressure widget in the Xiaomi Mi Fitness app. Okay, next is sleep monitoring, and according to Xiaomi, it is now 10% more accurate than their previous last gen Redmi Watch 4, which is true because every day while retiring to bed, I took a note of the time and I matched it next morning, and it was pretty close every time. Of course, you get all the different stages of sleep tracking like REM sleep, deep sleep, light sleep and everything, but you will have to turn on advanced sleep monitoring for getting the REM sleep and also some extra parameters and feedbacks. Without that turned on, you get a pretty basic feedback of sleep tracking, basically consisting of the deep sleep and the light sleep, and also you don't get the sleep score and more, so make sure to turn it on from the settings page. One annoying thing is, although the watch wearable knows that you're asleep, it just does not turn on do not disturb mode automatically. And one night I just forgot to switch off my phone. I went off to sleep, and around 1:30 or 2 a.m. it just woke me up showing me some random news article from Google. And then it again did at around 5:30 am when I just said to myself, okay, enough, I'm getting out of bed. The watch comes with a do not disturb mode, and there's an option to automatically activate that intelligently when you fall asleep, but that is turned off by default. Why, Xiaomi? Just why? And again, when you try to turn it on, it will warn you that it will consume more of the battery. But anyway, just make sure to toggle this on. I'm a very light sleeper and I honestly have problem falling asleep every night, to the point that I literally hate sleeping now. And finally, after falling asleep, these are the last problems that you would expect in your life. But anyway, the app can show you more information about your sleep, but again, remember to turn on advanced sleep tracking, else you will be missing out most of the features. First, you get a comprehensive sleep score, which is like a bird's eye view of your entire sleep quality, but then it also shows you how much ahead you are of the other people who are using the watch in your same age group. And in the subsequent more sleep tracks, it will also show you the new score compared to the previous score, so you get a general idea if you're improving or you're going the other way around. The sleep score is further broken down into different parts, which consist of the time, physical recovery, mental recovery, sleep onset and sleep regularity, with comments according to the recorded data. Now, there's also a fun sleep animal feature which shows which sleep animal you are, and it is based on the past 7 days sleep data in a row. Now, I'm a shark who tends to sleep late for a short period of time and apparently even swim while sleeping. Now, I know it is not an ideal sleep schedule as you can see over here, but there are areas for improvement, which is why the app also shows you a recommended routine which is set according to your needs. Since I go to sleep late, as you can see over here, the app is recommending me to go to sleep at 12 in the midnight. And finally, some more interpretation and suggestions supported by the Chinese Research Society, which is again based on the personal sleep data. Next are the different workout modes, and there are literally so many options over here. There's outdoor walking, outdoor run, cycling, and even swim tracking option. Now, if these don't suffice, then there's even more. There's card, board games, auto racing. I mean, literally, what more possibly could you need? Now, there's continuous heart monitoring and everything while you are in your workout mode. Now, I noticed something while I was cycling is that when I slowed down, especially like over here, you can see I was cycling at around 8 kilometers per hour. And my heart rate just shot up considerably, but it sure does look weird, especially when you compare it to the parts where I was speeding the most. I mean, how can slowing down increase the heart rate this much? Maybe this is what happens, but I don't really have a way to say that everything is 100% accurate. What I did find accurate which is the GNSS. It does take quite some time to fetch your location initially, but instantly becomes ready when you connect the watch to your phone over Bluetooth, since it starts relying on your phone's location data. It's an intelligent feature, but I don't like to go out with my phone, so what I do is generally just keep the workout page open well before starting and give the GNSS the required amount of time to get ready. The watch tracks my location accurately, even in congested areas. I actually have no complaints about that. Also, you can share your workout after you have done it. It's like an achievement card with your own set of modifications. I actually love a lot of things about this app, like how you can start a competition with a fellow Redmi Watch user, how the dashboard shows this small ice cream icon reminding how many calories you burnt, which is equivalent to 5 of them today. Although I wasn't particularly active because of the work pressure, and yes, just look at the huge library of watch faces available online. You can also set your own photo as the watch face, but that too has different formats. Most of these watch faces are also further customizable from the watch with just a swipe of a finger. But anyway, the point is, Xiaomi knows how to put that delightful experience in a software, and they pretty much nailed it with the pairing app experience. But where they messed up is the HyperOS. There are subtle things that lack in the software, which does not allow it to take full advantage of the hardware. Just like the 60Hz display should mean that 60 FPS animations are there in the software, but I'm pretty sure certain components don't have the 60 FPS animations. Just like here in stress monitoring, I can see the individual frames. And that gets worse with the touch lag which is present at some places in the operating system. Now, I'm calling this a software issue because it is pretty inconsistent. At some places the touch just works fine, but compared to my Watch 2R, there is some lag. Now I know that this is a much pricier watch, but the thing is, what is the point of having a 60Hz panel if the software isn't made for a 60Hz panel? Now, nothing is stagnant here. Xiaomi can actually push an update overnight with all the optimizations. It's only a matter of time, but I hope they address this soon. But that is just one tiny aspect of HyperOS. If you talk about the apps that you get with HyperOS, there are plenty, starting with different training options consisting of multiple workouts to guide you. There's training state, which shows you how hard you trained in the past few days, shows your running ability, and also predictions. These features are not even available on my Watch 2R. Then there are different breathing modes, which plays a relevant background music through the speakers while you're using them. What's interesting is they are accompanied by strong haptic feedback, guiding you when to breathe in and breathe out. And finally, Vitality Score, which is a measurement of your workout efficiency. Other expected features are there too. You can receive and make calls through the watch over Bluetooth. No support for LTE in the global version or eSIM, unfortunately. There's also some significant lag initially when you accept the call, but it probably lasts less than a second, after which the person on the other side can hear you clearly. Although personally, I find the microphone to be great. I can even start the recording right now from my watch in order to show you how it sounds like, because there's also an inbuilt recorder in the watch. And it's pretty cool. You can take audio notes on the go. I think the sound is also pretty clear on the watch, but there is some problem in the call. I don't know why, because I talked to two different people from this watch and both of them said that I sound different and the sound isn't very clear. So it's also again another software issue, I guess, which can be fixed with an update. And finally, you have all the other utilities. There's weather, stopwatch, timer, world clock, tasks, musics, and even a camera app, along with a timer which lets you take photos as well as videos from the native camera app on your phone. It doesn't need to be a HyperOS operating system. Like for example, currently I'm using a Realme smartphone and it works just fine. Last but not the least is the battery. Well, Xiaomi claims that this watch can last for up to 24 days with a single charge, but remember, out of the box, most of the features are disabled, and even essential features like turning on Do Not Disturb mode automatically when you doze off, along with stuff like advanced sleep tracking. Realistically, this watch can last for a maximum of 2 to 3 days, with all of the features turned on, excluding always on display, since I don't really like AOD in general. Also, there's an ultra battery saver mode which disables most of the functions of the watch, leaving behind just step tracking and clock. I don't think it is very useful like the power saving mode on my OnePlus Watch 2R, but yeah, it's there. Okay, so that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I guess I covered everything related to the watch and I hope you liked the video. Do like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.